What is the inspiration for your EP?
The inspiration for my EP, you know, was well, if I told a story, it would be about a young lady, possibly going through some relationship type of situations, and um, the way I laid out the EP, it kind of breaks the story down. Okay, the first song is Down South. So that song could speak of a heartbreak or, a downtime in a person's life. But by the end of that song, uh, things are getting a little better. We learn that we got to move on and we got to, keep striving. And so the second song in the EP is entitled Under Everything. So it kind of speaks to the fact that although we go through a lot of situations in our lives and things might be messed up from time to time, that you have to be able to look inside of yourself and see who you really are. And that song was a song about acceptance of who I am as a person and not what I am on the outside. So that began the second phase of the internal healing for me. And then once you heal situations, you're able to kind of slide into your love life a little bit. And so the next song is entitled You Know, and You Know is basically a love song. It's paying homage to a lover. And then there's the song Hallelujah. All relationships don't always go good, and sometimes some relationships end up in a breakup. And Hallelujah is the freedom song. It's kind of you breaking up with me, so hey, I'm free now. Situations are what they are, but the inspiration of the EP is just a variety of life situations that I decided to ball up into a story, a short story, you could say.
How would you describe your music to someone who has never heard it before?
To someone who's never heard my music before, I would describe it as a audible reality show. And the reason why I say that is because all of my songs tell a story. There's some truth in each song that I make, So my music kind of pulls you into my life, but it also reflects a lot of things that other people may experience in their life. So my music is real. I think I consider my music to be real. It's R&B, soul, hip hop ish. I like to call it rip bop, R&B and hip hop smashed together. Rip bop. That's how I describe my music. But my music is also out of the box. There's not one genre of music that I'm stuck in. I'll touch into country. I'll touch into Latin. I'll touch into reggae, jazz, hip hop, hardcore rap, soft music. You name it, I got it. So, I think my music is the type of music that can reach the highest of people and the lowest of people, and then bring them into a medium to understand on a real level the message that's being displayed.
What does each song mean to you? And also, how did they come about? It's like a two-part question.
Again, each one of my songs is somewhat of a story. It might be something that I personally experienced, or it's something that somebody I know may have experienced. And a lot of times I guess I say I kind of have trouble conveying my message to people. I think they don't get it, something about my tone or whatever the case may be. And I learned that through writing, that was a better way for me to express what I'm trying to say without being offensive or getting somebody to understand. I guess it's the frequency of music that works with the message to get it across. So each one of the songs is definitely a personal story of mine, and I just found a creative way to put it together to share it with the world. And you know, every song I write is special to me, because it comes directly from the heart, and I'm able to watch my thoughts become creations. It's like total manifestation and process when I'm writing music. So writing music is definitely a special process for me.
How did you come to the CRS Music Group?
The story is funny. I went to Orr High School. I graduated class of 95. At that time, some of the members of Crucial Conflict were attending the school, or Crucial Conflict used to always come up to the school and have concerts. And I remember Tony, Anthony Gordon, and I remember the blonde hair and everything. But when I was growing up, I couldn't do a whole lot of things. I couldn't go to the school functions. I couldn't go to the parties. I couldn't go to whatever was going on. My mom wasn't having that. So um, I did remember Tony, and I remember Danny Boy. And I remember this one encounter that I had with Danny Boy. And I had came to school one morning. It was in the breakfast line. And I guess I looked sad or mad or something. And Danny looked at me and he was like, why are you looking so mad? Or he said something like, you should smile or something like that. And I just remembered that. And from that time, years had passed. I would see Tony and them on the videos and everything like that. And I'm like, man, I remember I went to school with them. So fast forward, in 2014, I started working with his mother, Marilyn. And we worked for a company, and we became close like really fast. It was crazy. We just really became close fast. And from there, I remember I had just got through writing a screenplay. The name of the screenplay was The Jeremiah Project. So I would talk to them from time to time, like, yeah, I'm working on this play, because I would sit at work sometimes and type this this screenplay out. And one day I overheard her saying something about Danny Boy, and I'm like, Danny Boy, the singer? I'm like, I went to school with Danny Boy. Then I'm like, okay, and I let that go by. And another day we were just talking and something like that, and she said something about my son Tony, and I guess I started putting two and two together. I'm like, Anthony Gordon. And so she was like, yeah. I'm like, that's your son? She said, yeah. I'm like, I went to high school with him. She was like, that's crazy. I told him about you because you had just got through writing a screenplay and now he's filming. And so me and Tony came together to work on a screenplay that I had. And I told him, I was like, it would be cold if Danny Boy would be the leading role of this. And at that moment when I told him that, Danny Boy called his phone. And he was able to tell Danny Boy about the role. And we had started filming the play and the screenplay and everything. We were bringing it to reality. But Danny Boy had to go to Atlanta, so they kind of put that on pause. And so at that point, I didn't really know what I was going to do next. I have this blue folder, and I've had this blue folder since I was about 19 years old. And in this folder, I started writing poetry. I started writing songs, and I would be on punishment all the time. So I would sit on the front porch and I would just write. I would write down all of my feelings, my frustrations, the things that I couldn't say to the people I was mad at or happy with. I wrote it on paper. And I carried that folder with me from then to this day now. And I told Tony one day, I was like, I don't know how the conversation really came about that, I write music or whatever. So one day he was like, you want to go to the studio with me? I'm like, all right, cool. So we came to the studio and he was recording that day. And I was just watching how he do that, because at that point I had never really recorded before. So I was watching how he recorded. I was listening to the sound quality that came after that, and I was like, wow. And in my mind, I was like, I don't know if I would ever match up to that. Like, I was intimidated a little bit, and I really didn't say anything. And it was a couple of times that I came to the studio before actually getting on the mic. And I remember UQ saw me with the paper, saw me with the fold, and we started having a conversation about me writing music and everything. And it kind of got cut short, probably due to a session or so. That was that. And I went back to writing music. So January of 2015, I had wrote a song called "Old Boy," and that was the first song that I recorded in CRSMG Studios. And when I recorded that song, oh boy, it just wasn't. It didn't match up. So I couldn't let myself go by defeated at that point. And I went back and I would listen to that song over and over every day while I drive to work. I would listen to that song. So I came back to redeem myself, and I told Cuba that I wanted to do the song again. And after the second time in the booth, I became a little bit more comfortable, but I accomplished making the song sound better. Um, so from that point on, I just continued to write and continue to write. And there were other producers that wanted me to come record in their studios and this, that, or the other, but I didn't feel comfortable recording anywhere other than CRSMG. And Cuba told me what I needed to have my own equipment at home in order to be able to record. And when that happened, oh my goodness, things went crazy for me. Like, I began to write on a crackhead level, you can call it. So during the time I'm writing songs and I'm working on my music and everything, I had a chance to go on tour. And I went on tour with Sir the Baptist, and I did background with them. And I had a chance to experience life as an artist. It wasn't so much to me about being on tour. It was the experience that I appreciated, and being able to be on stage and being able to break the shy barriers. Because for whatever reason, I think I'm shy. Everybody tell me I'm not shy, but I think I'm shy. Or I was shy, or maybe a little bit of stage fright, and that could come from the things that people said to me about, not being a good singer. So I had a chance to get on these stages and had a chance to make an impact on people. And that's when I really began to realize, like, man, I'm at home right here on this stage. And at that point, everything else did not feel right. Everything started feeling icky. All I wanted was music. I want to write. Let me hurry up and get off work. Let me leave work. Let me get on a train. I'm listening to beats while I'm catching the train to work. I'm listening to beats as I'm on my way home. As soon as I get home, I'm taking off my work clothes. Sometimes I didn't even take off my work ID. I mean, that's how much I was ready to get into the music. And I just started writing music at a rampant pace once I came back from tour, because I felt like I was ready. I had a chance to perform at Atlantic Records. I had a chance to be on Late Night with Seth Meyers. I had a chance to be on Windy City Live. So it was preparing me. And so when I came back and I had to do that, had a chance to do the tour, I knew that I was ready. And I knew that I didn't want to work with nobody else but CRSMG, because I felt at home. I felt like they respected what I was doing. I felt like nobody tried to change me. Like, I was able to be me. And that's all I ever wanted to be, was to be me, because that's when you get the best expression of Shannon. So August 21st, August 20th, we released the CRSMG project, and it included myself, CTF, Stax, and Izzy. And we came together and we all put this project together of a variety of our music. And that was the day that I knew that I didn't want to be with any other place but CRSMG. It's just a genuine feel, and the sound. It's like it's definitely a synergy that when it comes together, it's like magic happens through this microphone, and that's all I ever wanted was to be able to express myself.
I don't like that shit. Let me make sure I got mine.
And music is my outlet.
Put your hands around my waist, take control of me.
After people hear the EP, the You Know EP, what do you want them to take with them, when they listen to it? What do you want them to take with them from it?
When people hear the EP, what do I want them to take from it? First of all, I want them to take from it the human experience. Again, it's a variety of stories, a variety of situations. I want people to be able to understand that it's okay to be free. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to fall in love. It's okay to respect yourself. It's okay to fall, and it's okay to get back up. I want people to take it in love. I want people to feel like the words of each one of the songs that I write is directly to them or for them. I want them to take the EP as a gift of my vulnerability, a gift of my transparency. I want them to take a piece of me with them when they listen to the EP.
Who were some of your musical influences?
My musical influences. So I think I've been old school music from a very, very young age. Back in the day, I remember being about 2 or 3 and listening to my mom and my aunts playing certain music on the radio or on their records. They listened to vinyls. Um, some of the music that they would play would be Diana Ross, a little bit of Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody. I don't know why I remember that song. Um, um, I don't know. It's like all of the soulful people. Womack and Womack I listen to. Betty Wright I listen to. All of the soulful singers, that's the type of music I listen to, like the grown folks music. And a lot of times when I write music, I be like, well, mama, y'all don't get mad at me because this is the music y'all had me listening to, and that's the music that become a part of me. On the hip hop side, what made me want to write, and this is on my life, what made me want to rap was Crucial Conflict. When I was about 16, my boyfriend at the time had a Crucial Conflict tape, and he would always listen to this tape. And I'm listening to him like, man, I really like all of the other songs because I knew of Hey, and I knew of Rodeo, and I knew of the songs that came on the box because that's how I kept up with stuff because couldn't do nothing else. But listening to the lyricism, listening to the flow, the only hip hop artist I really listened to at that time was Crucial Conflict, Do or Die, Psychodrama, Twister, and Bone. That was it. That's all I knew. And that's what made me want to write. So I have a variety of influence. It's like any kind of music, I like it. I am music. Music is a part of who I am.
What do you want the world to know about Shannon Clay?
I want the world to know that Shannon Clay is a real live person. Um, just like anybody else, I'm not perfect and I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to show the world that you can be human in this flesh and you can experience things and and you can feel things, and you can overcome things, and that's the most important part. I want the world to know that I had to go inside of myself to discover who I am. I had to go to the dark places. I had to go to the dark part of myself in order to find the light. I had to do wrong in order to realize what was right. I want the world to realize that it's okay to be vulnerable. Um, a lot of the things that we feel are necessary feelings, and they don't feel good. I want the world to know that I've been through some trying situations, and that I do realize that it could have been a lot worse. I could have not come through those things. Dealing with rape, dealing with divorce, dealing with suicidal thoughts, dealing with relationship issues, just dealing with a whole lot of things that would cause a normal person to quit. But I come to tell the world today that I'm not a normal person and I don't quit. Um, I want the world to know that this music thing is definitely a part of who I am. It's a part of who I will always be. I will always be a song. I will always be a story. I will always be a word. I will always be a voice for those who are voiceless. I will always sing for those who can't sing. I will always speak for those who are afraid to speak. I will always continue to be who I am. I can't change the essence of who I've discovered Shannon Clay to be, and I don't do it with offense. Everything that I do is in love, and I want the world to know that I work hard and that I'm dedicated, and I'm going to keep on bringing this music. I'm going to keep on telling stories. Y'all can expect to see me on TV, hear me on the radio. Hey, y'all hear my shit on the radio? See me on the stage with your favorite artists. Just keep your eyes open. Look out for Shannon Clay.
I got one more question for you. What can fans expect next from Shannon Clay?
The fans can expect me to continue to bring this good, raw, soulful music. You all can continue to hear more stories that I have to tell, more secrets that I share with you all. You all can expect me to continue to work hard. You can expect me to continue to be the Shannon that I am, the one that you all know and have grown to love.